What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Oops. Well, I was riding into work today, and I guess I don't need my headphones on now. Into work, and I realized that we might not have any scheduled for today, but we might actually. I was meaning to look at that. Anyway, it got me. The season's coming to an end. Best case scenario, we have all of November that we're gonna, do jobs. And usually November historically is actually a pretty good month. But I'm not banking on it. You know what I mean? Because you never know. It's the last month. We've had a lot of people cancel this year in October, which is pretty like we've never had that many people cancel in October. But I get it. People just want to shut down, that kind of stuff, and so I mean, they're not canceling because they're upset with service or anything like that. It's just kind of like, hey, you guys have been great this year, but let's just not come mow anymore. So anyway, yeah, so it's weird. There's some jobs that didn't get finished yesterday. Well, one that I can see. But it's a crew that never works Saturday. So I don't think I'm gonna put it on today just in case somebody wants to go do it. I guess I don't know who to put it under though. I'll just leave it with the same people and I'll move it. Oh, it looks like it's a garden maintenance, a monthly visit, and they didn't get to it yesterday. Man, they got more jobs done than I thought. I wonder if we charged everybody yesterday. Let me look. No, we didn't charge everybody. I could do that today or tomorrow. Anyway, so like I was saying, that today, slow. There wasn't going to be anything on the dispatch board, and I thought, well, season's coming to an end. Did I hit my goals? Have we hit our goals? That's what this title of this one should be. Have we hit our goals? All right, one second. I'm still trying to add the link in case somebody wants to join today. Is that going to work? Let me try it. Yeah, so I think if you click that and you want to join, we'll give that a shot. I've been putting that up every live, but nobody's been joining, which is totally fine. I mean, I know it's really weird that I'm even putting it up there, but you never know. Like, I think it'd be cool if somebody wanted to join this live and I don't know, tell me what's going on with their biz or any questions. Maybe I have some questions too. So I'm always trying to learn. So it got me thinking today. Season's almost over. Okay, so right now we're $4,000 away from $2 million in revenue. We'll probably Yeah, we'll probably do that Monday. So Monday will be over. We have done over 2 million in revenue. My last year we ended at 2.1, and and the revenue from we were at 1.5 the year before, and then last year we were at 2.1, and the revenue was so like the difference was insane as far as how much money was in the bank, um, how the vibe was here. I mean, it was just like incredible because the difference was $600,000 in from one year to the next. It was like mind blowing. So this year, if we're lucky, we'll end at 2.1 again, same revenue that we did last year. If we're lucky, remember we didn't start working until May because of the weather. So if we're lucky, we'll end at 2.1, and the diff like being the same, even though the year before the revenue was just insane crazy because we were at 2.1. That's not the case this year because basically we started our overhead as if we were at 2.1 still. You know what I mean? So basically, we were still. I wouldn't say, yeah, we were struggling the first half of the year for sure with the same crew that we had the year before that we were making a killing on. But this year it's like, having that overhead at the beginning instead of gradually hiring up to match your revenue. We were like, our overhead was here and our revenue was here, and then we were still here while we're trying to get up. And then when we finally started, my bookkeeper thinks we're in good shape now, but the season's coming to an end, and but at this point we can reset. My point is, we didn't hit our goal. My goal was 3 mil. Um, that was my goal, and we were ready. I had all the staff we needed, in-house staff, estimators, foremans, the same awesome crew that we had the year before. But this year we were ready for growth. I put quite a bit of money into marketing this year. I was just doing everything I can to go like, overflow with business and handle it and have a backlog that was crazy. It just wasn't the case this year. So, whatever. We didn't hit our goal, but, you know, I think we're still like, I focused my energy on trying to make new goals, which was lower my credit card debt. I figured, you know what? If I'm not going to hit that goal, at least I can hang my head up high if I take care of these debts that I have. And because of the spring and we didn't start till May, I had to take out a loan because I still had my people. I still wanted to pay them, even though we didn't have any work. And so I took care of that. I got that taken care of. So I paid that off, thankfully. And then I paid off about half of the debt that we incurred over the winter time. All in the meantime, still stocking up my warehouse, my sprinkler warehouse, which was $150,000. That I kind of committed to that, and when I see like a clear commitment like that, where we wanted to stock up the warehouse, make the efficiency on the sprinkler techs, as efficient as humanly possible, go from job to job to job without having to go to the sprinkler store because their trucks are stocked. And if they did have to go to the store, they come back to the shop and we stock them up here and then they go back. Like that was my goal, and it was a clear goal. So I did it, and I didn't waver from it, even though I probably should have at the beginning of the season. But it was kind of like I went all in. I hired a warehouse manager to manage the whole thing. So basically, we did, we didn't hit our goal that way, but I learned so much, guys. I mean, this is the year I would call of education. I've learned so much, and not just like learning, but I realized that in order for my company to like really succeed and grow, like I have to do certain things. And one of those things is be more mindful of my numbers. Just so with that said, I listened to a podcast over the weekend, over the week, and basically this really, really, really smart guy in the industry said that when he started, he should have focused more on numbers right from the start. But I think that when you first start, I focused on capacity, like how much can I handle when I first started. Because when you first start, you want to get business, right? You're saying yes to everybody, and you're just trying to get the experience, and you're trying to work. Well, at least in my case, I didn't have any experience when I started, so what I wanted to do was just work as much as I could, so I can get better and better, and to the point where I was like really good at it. And once I was able to do that, then my focus was to never say no to if our prices were right. I'd say, hey, look, we don't have any room for garden cleanup or garden maintenance or mowing. We don't have any room, but if you pay this much, we'll make room for you. So I was doing that for a while. Even though I didn't really know my numbers, I felt like I was charging what I thought at the time was a good price. So my goal was to figure out a way to always get jobs done and never get the complaint that when are you guys coming, or turn people away because we're too busy, kind of stuff. So my focus was capacity. How much can we handle when I first started? You know what I mean? How much can we handle? So like I would say year four is probably when I made that goal. No matter how many jobs come, if the customers accept our quote, we're gonna get it done. And that's kind of been my focus all the way up until probably 2020. No, yeah, 2020 is probably the year I said, we need to know our numbers, like real granular level. How much do we need to make to pay everything off and make a profit on top of all that? It was about 2020 when I decided we need to do that. And the number was pretty high that we needed to charge, compared with all our overhead and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But at that point, we had so many customers, so many customers that we made a decision in the office that if we change the prices on everybody, we're going to lose, even worst case scenario, if we lose half of our customers. If that's worst case scenario, we lose half our customers, are we still going to be okay? And then we kind of looked at it, we thought about it, we pondered that for a few days. And then finally we came to the realization, like, yeah, we'll be fine, because at this point, we maxed out what our capacity is. Our guys were mowing, we had 5 crews, and they were mowing 30 to 35 lawns a day. Yes, that's you guys, there's guys out there that do it all the time, but I don't think that's sustainable. I'm a systems guy. I like to make systems. I like to have procedures like, hey, this is what happens when this happens. When A happens, we do B, right? And if B doesn't work, we should do C. Like I always want to have these systems in place and have in crews mowing 30 to 35 or more lawns a day is not a good system, because that's too that takes too much, gives too much like control over who can do it. So if you got these 2 awesome guys that can do it, but nobody else can, then your system isn't really sustainable, because if those guys call off or if they quit or whatever, you're going to have to change your whole business structure, because it's too hard, to keep that going. So we've said, okay, well, if we lose half our customers, we'll have half the staff and we'll be fine. Because at this point we have too many customers. So when I see people that have, 600, 800 lawn mowing customers, and they're charging like, $50 a lawn, they say, I need to raise my prices. I say, this is the best time. This is the best time for you to do that, because you've got so many customers that, let's say you raise your prices to what they need to be. Let's say you're charging $50 a house, for example, on average, $50 a lawn, but you need to be at 80. That's not quite double, but what is that, 80% increase? Um, let's just say you have 500, let's say you have 500 customers, you raise it up 80%. Let's say you lose half your customers. So you went from 500 customers down to 250 customers. You're still getting paid almost as if you still have 500 customers. So, and your overhead people in the office, you can pay them to answer the phone and deal with customers and make sure that, if the customer needs anything, there's somebody always there that they can talk to. You'll have more people for less houses. So the quality is going to get better. So those are things that we decided and we talked about in 2020 that we said we're going to do. We're just going to do it. And if we lose all our Mo customers, so at the time too, we were killing it in garden cleanups and garden landscaping. You know what I mean? We were just killing it, which we still do, pretty much. Our labor percentage on the big cleanup jobs are like 15%. So, I mean, we're doing really good there too. But I'm just thinking that when you're ready to make that switch from, 30 lawns a day, two guys, and if you charge what you need to, you go down to one man crew. That's a whole other thing. I've been doing one man crews for a couple of years now, and I've actually done it in the past. It was probably 2017 when I did my first year of one man crews, and it worked good, but I didn't do P for P or pay for performance or performance pay back then. If I would have done that, I think that would have made a difference, and I'd have been a one man crew this whole time. But guys were complaining that they wanted somebody with them, and they weren't making performance pay. And at that time in 2017, I probably wasn't paying very much either. So yeah, they had the right to be like, I think we need help. I need helper and all this stuff. What's up, Eden? Lawn care. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm just talking. I came into work today and realized, I'm probably not going to hit my goal for the year, which was 3 mil. We're at 2 mil. We ended last year at 2.1, and I have a feeling we're going to hit that 2.1 this year. But basically, there's not going to be a gain in revenue this year. Probably not, unless we kick ass in snow at the last minute, which I've seen people do. But I don't think that's going to happen with us. I mean, who knows? But we've been trying to sell snow since August, and in August we sold a lot of snow. But then September came and we sold a little bit, and October came and I don't think we sold anything this whole month. So that's pretty crazy. We have been giving out quotes. I think at this point, customers are like price shopping. The customers from August and September are probably mostly regulars or people that have been in our database for a while and finally did snow. But right now, when we're really trying to sell snow in this month, it's just not been the case yet. I don't know. So that's kind of what's going on with me. I also have something called a 12-month rolling report. Let me see if I could find it. So I've got a whole bunch of spreadsheets that my office manager made. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. Man, I can't find it. How am I not finding that? So, by the way, we did our first commercial bid this year. and submitted it. And we actually had a Zoom conference with the person who awards the bids. And it was it's $1 million contract. It'll be our first commercial account. But so on the first initial meeting, he just talked about what their expectations are. And so the quote we gave them, we didn't talk to anybody first. We just submitted the bid after looking at all the properties. Eden, you took back your message and I didn't get a chance to read it. Sorry, bro. Yeah, so we submitted our first bid, and so we basically gave them a bid for sprinklers to make sure that they've always got a sprinkler tech on all their properties anytime they need it. The mowing, fertilizing, garden maintenance, and snow. So we gave them a full bid for all those services, as if they hired us and they accepted that bid, they wouldn't have to even ever look at their yard. We would make sure it's all 100% taken care of all year. It would look like every tenant that they had. I mean, these are big properties. I didn't even know apartment complexes were this big in my city. I didn't even know that there were apartment complexes that big. They're huge. We're full tilt on leaves, getting in our last mows. Yeah. We had a lot of people cancel this year, Eden, but we still have a lot of customers still on our list, and we're mowing. We're getting a lot of calls that say, "When's your last day of mowing?" Customers just want like a date, right? Like, "Hey, when do you stop mowing?" And they want me to say Thanksgiving. But what I tell them is like, it depends on the weather. I mean, we don't want to mow in December, but if the weather's nice, we'll mow. Like your grass is going to keep growing no matter what. The grass here keeps growing. It's Kentucky bluegrass, so it likes the cold weather. It likes the moisture, so it keeps growing. And customers they don't get that. So we have sent out emails to notify them that, hey, even though we're shutting off your water, you still want to keep us mowing because the grass is still going to grow. Leaves are still going to fall. So we're going to pick up some leaves when we're there. So we do all those things. But anyway, with this commercial contract that I got, that I bid, we didn't get it. I wish we did. But he didn't say no yet. He just kind of like our first initial meeting after the quote was, we're pretty competitive with snow. Our snow price is pretty competitive, which I'm really relieved because I feel like our prices seem pretty high, but it takes all that, to make sure we have guys on hand and all that stuff. So our snow was competitive, our mowing was competitive. He wasn't sure about our fertilizing because I gave him a 7-step program. They only want 4 applications for the year. So we have to revise that to 4 applications. The garden maintenance, we gave them the quote as if they don't ever have to look at it. It's going to be perfect, but they only want 2 visits. They want we mow and suck leaves up until snow falls. Yeah, we do too. I used to have years where like customers they didn't even cancel. Like I'd be surprised if like 5 people canceled all of November. But nowadays people are canceling. So I think I realized that like, because we have so many customers and we actually have a few different salespeople that the customers actually contact directly, it kind of makes it like when they call the office to cancel, like I feel like there's no like loyalty with the customers. Like they don't know us, so it's easy for them to cancel. And so we're trying to change that. So what we've been doing, and we've been doing it now for 2 weeks, is every new customer we get, we make a video with the whole team. So whoever sold the call will hold the phone. So if I sold a brand new customer, I would, hang up with them, whatever, get my work phone out, record a video with me holding the phone and the team in the office in the background saying, hi, but basically saying, hey, customer, I'm Freddie, the one you just spoke to on the phone, and this is so and so back there, and this is so and so, and they handle the garden maintenance. And if you need any sprinkler work done, they'll put you on the schedule. And we just want you to know that we're the ones that you've talked to. And if you need anything, please call us for any reason. All right, thanks. Thanks for signing up. Bye. So we've been doing that for 2 weeks, and I think the customers are liking that. We haven't signed up tons of people, but we do it at least once a day. I think it was like on Monday when we started it, we sold like 4 that day. So we did 4 of them right away. And then every day after that, we've been doing 1. We've been meaning to do 1 yesterday, but because of the phone call with the commercial account, we just kind of forgot about it. So we'll probably need to do that one on Monday, now that I think about it. But I don't know. We're just trying to make it like, hey, we are actually people here, and this is a real local business. This isn't a franchise. So, you can call us for any reason, and you don't have to feel like you're just a number. And so we're just trying to get that point across. And I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm trying to build that loyalty with the customers somehow, because when you're smaller, you can totally build loyalty with customers. I mean, I used to know the dog's name of customers. I would know pretty much their kids' names, their husbands, their spouses, or wives. And now it's just we go, hey, so and so cancel. We're like, who did? And they say the name, and we're like, I don't know who that is. I honestly, I never thought that it would be like that. I thought even when we were smaller and we were growing, I still thought that I'd always know the customer, but that's just not the case. We offer a lot of services, so sometimes they ask for a garden quote right off the gate, a new customer, and the garden estimator goes out. They meet the customer, and they meet them, and know them, and all that. But if once the garden stuff is done, or if the customer doesn't need any garden work, they just call the office or send an email to the office and cancel service. I think that could be a reason why the garden maintenance, does really well, because there is a person there that they know and they talk to on a regular basis, that manages their gardens. And so maybe we need to try to do something like that with mowing. But with mowing, customers don't really, they want a nice lawn, but it's not like they need to show you where to cut every week. They don't come out there and talk to the mow guys. They just go about their business. But when it comes to garden maintenance, usually, they're in contact. Hey, I put flowers from the nursery by the garden bed. Would you please plant them for me? And so they're constantly talking to the garden people, because their gardens are something to them more special than the lawn. And so I think that's why there's a little bit more loyalty with those customers than the mowing customers. But we need to figure out a way to get that to be that same way, because, at this point, every customer counts, man. Every customer counts. When we lose a customer, it's like, oh man. And it's even harder on me, because we offer so many services that it's kind of like they're saying, we don't want you for anything anymore. You know what I mean? When we actually lose a customer, right? It's like, hey, what did we do that was so bad that they don't even want us to do any service for them anymore? And sometimes it's just that they found a cheaper company or something. I never really get super harsh criticism feedback from customers. They don't ever say, I mean, I've had customers say, I'm very upset with everything. There's poor communication, and I'm just upset. I'm sick of it, so we're going to cancel. I've had that happen, of course. I'm sure everybody has. But what I get more than anything is, hey, we're going to try a different service, so, take us off the list right now, or, the normal stuff like they moved, but um, yeah, I feel like when we were smaller, the loyalty was a lot stronger. So anyway, I'm still looking for this report. It's called a 12-month rolling 12. I wonder if I can go. I'm gonna look in the drive. How's everybody doing though? Who's hitting their goals? Who hit their goal this year? I want to know. Let's see, rolling 12-month running is what she's called it here. Okay, so my rolling 12 is 2.1, which makes sense that it's very similar to last year because it's been about 12 months. So yeah, my rolling 12 is actually at 2.1 right now, and we're at 2 million right now. So I'm hoping that we at least hit last year, but at this point, I don't know. Have anybody? It's been a long time since my revenue the following year was the same as the year before. Has that ever happened to anybody where it's like you didn't grow at all? That sounds horrible saying it out loud, but oh man. Jarmar, what's up, man? We're 17K behind. Thinking we can. Sorry, there's an icon. We can catch it up though if we do Christmas lights. Yeah. 17K for a whole month, and you still got a month, actually 2 months. Let's not forget December is a month, so we still have plenty of time. I'm sure you can do it, especially if you do Christmas lights. We are not doing much Christmas lights this year. I sent out a blast in August when we were trying to get all this snow stuff all squared away and Christmas lights. We had a handful of people sign up for Christmas lights, and then it kind of just got busy with the winterization of sprinklers, and just trying to get work for the guys now that kind of fell by the wayside with this Christmas lights. But I've had some customers that I've been talking to, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, like signed up for winterization of sprinklers," and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, when are you guys going to come do my Christmas lights?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you never accepted. Like, you didn't say that you wanted us to do that." And they go, "Oh, well, sorry, I guess I didn't get the email or something." So I think we've got to make a stronger push for that. But at this point, I'm just like, I don't know. Christmas lights, is something that I primarily did myself. And I'm getting to the point where it's like, last year when I was on a few roofs and I was just like, I really shouldn't be doing this anymore. I was in a spot where I was like, I was the only one there, which you should never go by yourself, but like I went by myself. I did this house that I've done every year. But I don't know what happened, but my ladder was not where it probably should have been. And I felt like I couldn't get down. And I had to hold on to the wall, like both sides of the wall, like where I was at. And my legs were starting to give out. And I was like thinking I was going to call somebody. So I did the headphone thing where it's like I was going to call somebody. And while it was ringing, I just hung up and said, "You know what? I don't have time to wait for somebody. I'm not going to make it." So I just said, "I got to jump for the ladder." When you're on a roof and you got to jump to a ladder, like that is not ideal. But I said, that's my only choice. Like I have no choice unless I jump off the roof. And I didn't want to do that. It was just above a driveway. So there was no grass down there. It was just driveway. And I made the little hop. I wouldn't say it was a jump, but it was more like a hop. And I made it. I landed on the ladder just like I should, and everything was fine. Like I did it smoothly, even though I hopped on the damn thing. And I was able to get down, and that's when I said to myself, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this still? Like, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. We grew substantially this year. That's awesome, Eden. But anyway, I did have plans. I have a guy that knows how to do lights, and he's been doing lights before I bought this company. So the company uh, at this location, when I took it over, it came with there was a guy that knew how to do lights, and I knew he knew how to do lights, like because I knew the owner, and this guy was doing lights for him, and like all kinds of lights, like Christmas tree wrapping kind of stuff, um, bushes. I would just do roof lines, but he was doing everything, and but I never used him when I got the company. Like I just let him mow because I had it. Me and my light person at the time were just doing lights, and we were fine. Like we didn't need any help, and he was a great mow guy. So it's just like you stay there, and we'll do this, and it's all good. And he was great. He was fine with that. But this year, I was like, hey, how about you do the Christmas lights for me this year? He's like, yeah, sounds great. He wanted to make sure that I hired, well, not hired. He's already working here, but somebody was going to be assigned with him that he wanted. And I said, yeah, we can do that, no problem. But at this point, we only got like a week's worth of full time work for him, and I don't know. I may do it still, but out here, Christmas lights is a hard sell, man. I love Christmas lights. I love to do it, but I also don't want to do it for free or lose money doing it or just break even when I can literally fall off a roof, So the prices that we need to be at are just hard to sell here. And I've done so many different sales tactics, man. And I feel like I've done the best I could with it, but it doesn't grow at the level I want. Every year there's companies that want to sell their Christmas lights, and what they're asking for their lights and what they actually charge per foot is ridiculous. So it's like, dude, I can't buy that. If I did, I'm just like going to be doing it for free because I mean that's how it is out here. It snows, so I think in areas where it snows, um, and neighbors know each other very well. I don't know. I think that combination of snow and everybody knowing their community very well, like makes it so you get that Christmas spirit without Christmas lights. Whereas you go to other parts of the country and it doesn't snow, and they kill in Christmas because that's their snow. It's Christmas time. Like that's how you know it's Christmas time because of the Christmas lights on the houses. Whereas here it snows and everybody kind of already knows each other and they're happy. And other parts of the country, they don't really know their neighbors very well. And so adding Christmas lights is just a way of saying, hey, check my house out. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing out like theories because I don't know why we can't sell snow or lights out here. I know that there's some guys that do like these big giant commercial properties, and that may be something I look at in the future. And you can make a lot of money doing those. But I think the residential, on offhand, you get a customer that's willing to pay your prices, but the next 10 houses, they don't. So I'm just like, I don't know. I like Christmas lights, and I'll still probably do it here and there, but not try and build a business around it like I have been. So I've been doing Christmas lights for, I think, 13 years. 13 years doing Christmas lights, and um, it's just not as awesome as lawn maintenance. The revenue just isn't there from year to year. And I know there are guys that kill it, and keep killing it, but I just couldn't do it for some reason. So, but I do like hanging lights. I just don't like selling them. So let's see what else is new, guys. So what's new, Jamar? What's going on? If you're still on here, um, did you have any goals other than? Did you have any goals this year that you hit or didn't hit? My goal was to be at 3 mil, and we definitely didn't hit that. We've had some really great months, so I know it's possible, but my next step is commercial. I think if I focus on not change my model to just commercial, but do more commercial on top of what we're already doing. I think that'll get me to my number next year. Whereas this year, my goal was basically not my goal, but my strategy to hit my goal was to do marketing and to be staffed up with estimators and the workers. Like that was my strategy in marketing, and it just didn't pan out. We did have a meeting with just now, with not today, but yesterday and the day before, with my estimator, because we're like, look, you've been estimating now for 3 years here. What happened this year? What happened? And basically, she said the prices are too high. And so I'm like, well, so what we're going to do over this winter is we're going to basically start from scratch and lower and figure out what our hourly rate needs to be, like 100%. We think we know, like, and we're going to try and do a better job of separating out the divisions, right? So, like, the mowing revenue that the mow guys make should not affect or help another division, like sprinkler division, for example. If the sprinkler division is struggling, what we've noticed is the other divisions kind of help that division. So we're able to make payroll and that kind of stuff. But then that takes away from the profit and from operational costs too. That's more important to me, is like the operational costs. Like, dude, we need to spend $2,000 today for materials, and obviously the customer paid for that stuff, but also, stuff, car repairs, the bills, utility bills, the rent to the place. I mean, you need operational costs, right? You need operational money. And when a division is doing poorly and another division that's doing amazing has to funnel that money to that, guess what? It's going to labor. Your labor percentage went from, 40% all the way down to 50 or to 60 or to 65, where it could have went to operations. I mean, 30% could have went to operations on top of what you're already allocating to operations, which is probably like 20%. So you could have 50% go straight to operations. And that would, when you have that much revenue coming in for operations, I mean, you're doing good, like you can afford to buy a truck when you see a good deal. You can, those payments to make, all your payments are easy. But so we're going to do a better job of separating the divisions next year, which we already separate them. But what I'm saying is, like, if we notice the sprinkler division is doing bad, we want to catch it right away and make changes in that division right away, not necessarily, oh, well, we took money from the mowing and put it in there, which it's really hard to do because, when the revenue comes into the bank account every day, it doesn't say, hey, this much was from mowing, this much was from this. Now, you can look into those things, you can find out that information, but I like to streamline everything to make it simple so that we don't have to do much work figuring things out. It's just kind of like, oh, this is the revenue that came in that day. This is how we're going to allocate it. The cold, wet spring was tough on us this year, man. You're preaching to the choir, dude. We had a cold, frozen spring, man. My spring was like until May. It started melting, like the snow, like you could see the sun coming over. It was the third week of April. And that's when we started gearing up. That's when we started telling people, all right, hey, come on in, come on in. Let's get started. Meanwhile, I was already paying everybody. I was already paying them. So that was tough, guys. That was tough. So we're not doing that again. I already talked to my main snow guys. I'm like, look, guys, This is what's happening, dude. This is how much we're going to pay you during the snow season. Starts December 1st till March 1st. This is how much you're going to get paid. That's the deal. And it's enough. It's great. Like the guys are like, yeah, that's great. But we're not going to pay you if it's slow before December 1st. So if worst case scenario, November is a really bad, slow month, sorry, you're not going to make any money that month. Like we're not going to ask you to come in. And if you don't want to come in for snow, we understand. Like I get it. I can't be mad. Like I'm professional. You know what I mean? So like if you don't think you're going to make good money in December, you're not going to, and you don't want to wait till December because it's not worth it for you. I appreciate that, and I can't get mad at that. They're going to go find another job. Great. I don't think they will, but there's still a risk, right? There's still 4 weeks that somebody's got to figure something out. But if you're in this industry, that's what I'm trying to get through my head after this hard winter last year was if you're a worker in this industry, that's something you just need to know. It's not my fault that my sprinkler guy didn't know that there's not gonna be any work in November. Like that shouldn't be my fault. Sure, I could warn people, which I do, right? Of course, I tell sprinkler guys, hey, we're busy. We start March. We don't really start working hard March, but we're on property starting March, making sure the backflows are put on right and all that kind of stuff until the end of October. That's our strong season, and then if snow comes, you'll work from December till March. But basically, there's that month of November that's slow, and if they don't prepare for that, it should be on them. It shouldn't be on me. And up to this point, up to last year, I basically made it my problem for some reason, and I don't want to do that anymore. Just like I was telling my office people that when we do these numbers, we're going to start those numbers. We're going to look at the numbers in December or whenever in winter. Like I do manager bonuses, and sometimes it's time for manager bonus, and I feel obligated to put all the revenue that came in from yesterday's work or whatever into the manager fund bonus fund because we don't have any money in there. So I'm willing to put 100% of profit of 100% of the day's revenue and just pay out bonuses just because I feel obligated. It was my fault. I don't think that should be my problem anymore next year. Because what we're going to do is figure out what we need to hit profit and to hit bonus. And if the company hits that bonus, I'm paying it out. We'll pay it out. But if we don't, we're not. So if you're not in charge of your crews, if they're not hitting their man-hour rates and you're not doing anything about it to fix that, that's not my fault. You know? Obviously, if I notice a problem and I can see a clear path to fix it, I will. But that shouldn't be like you shouldn't get I'm not going to take anybody's bonus away if we're making money. So if I have to step in and say, hey, this is what we need to do so we can hit our man-hour rates, great. You're not getting penalized for that. But if I'm sidetracked and I'm doing something else and you don't fix your man-hour rate problem in your division, that's not my problem. There's no bonus. Sorry. Like it's bonus time and there's no money in the bonus. So it's not my problem. We had to shift bonus money into payroll to make payroll for the week, and so that's not my fault. Like I told the managers that. Okay, I said, look, you guys are smarter than me. I'm here to be the referee, make sure things are going smoothly and the way they're supposed to be. But you guys are the smart ones, and you guys are the ones in dispatching jobs, and you guys are the ones estimating jobs. And so you should be responsible for your own bonus. I'm sorry. So anyway, I did tell them that, and I think it went great. Like I was respectful and they were too. And because I explained to them, I go, there have been times this year we've had a bad year. There's no denying that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows we've had a bad year this year in my company. So there have been times where, but you still made your bonus. You still made your bonus, even though we had worst year ever, because I felt obligated that I had to pay it. Because in my mind, I promised you that. But in reality, we didn't have systems set up so that if the company's doing bad, well, guess what? Your bonus is going to do bad too. So that is my basically one of my I say 5 initiatives with numbers next year. Is one of them is, if the company does bad, guess what? Your bonus is going to be bad. And that's just the way it is. I'm no longer going to feel obligated to pay it just because, even if the company's doing bad. So those are things I learned this year. Those are things that a bad year has taught me. And it sucks for everybody, but guess what? It sucked for the company. It sucked for me. So now I learned this is how it's going to be. And if I were to say, look, I'm the one that's going to come up with the numbers myself, and I'm going to make sure that everybody's hitting their man-hour rates, I'm going to do that. Then it's on me. But next year, I'm putting it on them. Because I'm like, look, if you guys want to make more bonus, let's figure out how to do it. But you guys are going to have to figure it out, because I'm not good with numbers. I'm just not. We've had some outside help, and we'll keep doing that if needed. Like because I've got smart people. Like my GM is really smart, and she's great with spreadsheets. Like she can do any spreadsheet you want, and she can make it look like anything you want, even Excel spreadsheets. She's one of those people that could probably draw like Dragon Ball Z character with her Excel spreadsheet. You know what I mean? She could probably do that if she wanted to. So she's really good with spreadsheets. So she's really excited to take on this thing next year. We did do our mowing numbers, and I would say our garden numbers, but it was 2 years ago. And I don't know. We're both kind of like, me and her are both kind of like, I don't know what happened, because we had just the most phenomenal last 2 years. Have been phenomenal, like a dream. Like you guys would love the kind of I would say revenue and just the way the business was the last 2 years was just incredible. And then this year it's just kind of like, I don't know. And we can't figure out why. That's the thing. My bookkeeper says that we're on track now, like everything's going good, and it's doing much better the last 2 months for sure. Like this quarter has been really great, but we're ending the year break even for the most part, and we don't want to do that again. I'm not going to do that anymore. So next year we want to do good, and we want to make a profit. So one of the things that I like doing is being super, super prepared. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've heard this from somewhere, that having a deep bench is really important. Where did I hear that? Is there a podcast or something? Having a deep bench is really important. I kind of think it was a talk from Jason Cupp. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. But having a deep bench is important. The problem is, like, if you have a deep bench that's not really working, like not out producing man-hour rates, like you're not sending that deep bench to do jobs and make money on their own, or you're just kind of throwing them with another crew every day they come in just to keep them busy. Like, you lose money that way. So, that's how I like to operate, Like last year, our profit was where it needed to be. And we did have people that we were kind of just like moving around. Hey, I need you. have you go with a mow guy today. Or, just go with a mow guy so in case we need you to do that, in case we need to set up another truck, you can go. Hey, we're going to send you with a garden crew today because they're doing kind of a big job, and it'd be nice if they had a third or fourth person. Um, and we're just not going to do that anymore. I think it's going to be hard if like we need people. We had this year we had the problem that we had too many people. So I even had like my foreman who's trying to keep the most important people working. At this point right now this year, they're all that important, every single one of them. But it was probably June where we had probably too many people, and the really like important people of our company were complaining that their hours they didn't have enough hours, and so the foreman who's there to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do um, came to me and was like, "Dude, I need to let some people go," and I'm like, "I get it, bro, but you're gonna have to make that decision because um, I don't know who needs to be fired, like you know." Um, so anyway, he told me, and we ended up having to do it. And so it's been good. To be honest with you, truthfully, we do have one more person that they, my foreman would like to let one more person go. And we kind of targeted who that person would be, but he's so good, we don't want to let him go. And I've even talked to a few of the people like that need the most hours that we would like to give the most hours to, and we've had a meeting with them like a huddle and said, look, I know you want more hours. The only way to do that is if we fire this one person, and that guy has not done anything wrong, and he is good. And he's like, no, I don't want him fired. He's good. Like, he's really good. And I'm like, I know that's where we're at right now. Like, we can't let anybody go. But if we did, that would be the person. And I don't want to let him go because that person is bringing in money. It's just a matter of you working 40 hours or 45 or a little bit more if we let this person go. And I don't think that's worth it for anybody. And he's like, I agree. I don't want him fired. So don't. And I go, look at all the teams. Who can we let go? And it's like nobody. Like, we're good. We're staffed. Unfortunately, we probably do have one person too many, but overall, it's not a big deal. One person is, and they're good. Like, it's not a big deal. But it would give somebody an extra 5 hours, on their check, probably a week if we let this person go. And I'm just like, it's just not worth it. And neither does that person. So that's kind of what's going on. We're approaching an hour here. I've got 2 minutes, so we'll call this a 2-minute warning, and we'll try and keep this at an hour. So, guys, here we go. We still got we still got 10 working days of October. So Monday through Friday, and then Monday and Tuesday. We are completely booked. Well, not completely booked. We have a lot of sprinkler blowouts still next week. And then after that, we're just going to have one guy with an air compressor the rest of the November, all month. Just kind of going job to job. He's going to have a very slow month, but I feel pretty confident he might be able to get still a good 30, 40 hours a week. Just me guessing, top of my head. But anyway, guys, hope you have a great week. Thanks for hearing me out. I know today didn't really have a strong topic, but me, I just like to tell you what's going on. So catch you on the next one. Appreciate you and have fun.